Today we're hunting around entrenchments, fortifications, earthworks, and rifle pits. Of course, this is private land, but there are relics buried here that are deteriorating quickly. They've been in the ground now 165 years, and it won't be long before they are gone. I'm looking at digging this rifle pit here, so we're gonna probe the ground here. Okay, that doesn't seem very deep at all. All right, I think we know where we want to dig. Let's get busy. This is the moment of truth. We've dug pretty deep in this rifle pit, haven't disturbed any of the entrenchment, and what we're hoping that we're going to hear something either in this discard pile, the trash pile, the tailings, if you will. Better yet, I hope I'm going to hear some signals in the bottom of this hole. All right, let's start with the tailings. This is not a good sign. Not a peep. All right, there's a percussion cap. Let's hope we find more than that. Okay, I think that's a bullet. Here's a Civil War bullet. It either hit something or carved or something. First Civil War target of the day. All that digging for one bullet. This is how it often happens. You dig your brains out, there just ain't nothing down there. So we're gonna do one more thing before we quit. I'm gonna take a pair of post hole diggers and I'm gonna dig a test hole right down in the bottom. All right, I just went down just an inch and I hit hard red clay. So I'm sure I'm at the bottom now, so there's no need to go much deeper, but I'll try. All right, let me show you what I'm looking at. So here are the earthworks piled up. I'm come down about 3 feet here. You can see the color of the earth, and then all of a sudden you're hitting red clay. That's as hard as a rock, so that's where the soldiers were standing. So nothing to do now but fill the hole in. Well, I obviously don't have to tell you that the digging the entrenchment didn't work out very well. I'm going to hunt the high ground for a little while, and if I don't do any good in the high ground, we'll put on some rubber boots and go to the swamp again. There's a lot of these 9mm casings in here. All right, I think I hit something. Iron. Oh! And I'm getting a really deep signal right there. I know some of you are going to comment on my goofy looking shovel, but I learned a long time ago that I'm too irresponsible. And I've lost shovels, and I've spent hours looking for shovels that I either left at a hole, and now all of my shovels get painted. And you make fun all you want, but you're not going to lose this very often. Let's see if we can hear anything on a pinpointer. Let's see. Yep. All right. So there's the second Civil War target of the day, and it's another Gardner. How about that? A modern bullet, I think. You have to dig shotgun shells because they sound like buttons. It's a bullet, but it's a modern brass bullet. A little piece of aluminum. Little 22 bullet. Another modern bullet. Bob Gorbinko, I think you know where I am. I really think this is a Civil War bullet. Let me give you a better view. See that dark in the soil right there, kind of brownish? Banged up fired bullet, I think. Looks like an infield to me right now. And we just pulled our third bullet of the day out of that hole. Trenches up the hill here, down into the swamp here. The Union Federal troops were coming from another hill that you can't see through the woods there. And they had to come down, come through this swamp, and then up this hill into withering Confederate fire. And so this was one of the deadliest spots. Grant just continued to throw his troops against these entrenched Confederates. It's the spot that one of the Confederate generals said, that wasn't war, that was murder. Well, I'm down here in the swamp. I'm going to end my day in the swamp. So I'm picking and choosing my targets because the swamp is so hard to dig. The daggone roots. Now this does not make good sense for a grown man to be doing all this for a bullet. Look right there. There it is. Been laying in this muck since 1864. Who fired that? And is it the last bullet they ever fired? Did he survive this battle? Did he make it back home at the end of the war? All right, I dug that last bullet right there, and then as soon as I got the hole filled in, I got another signal right beside the hole, exactly like the first one. It's another Civil War bullet, but it's even weaker, which means it's even deeper. I decided not to dig it. About 6-7 feet away, there's another bullet here, but it's not as deep. It's a stronger signal, so we'll dig it. It's lead. It's probably a mangled piece of a bullet. That's just a chunk that hit something and really went crazy. Okay, I didn't get it all. There's more bullet in there. Son of a gun, look at that. There's more of that bullet. It must have hit something and broke apart, but it was right in the same hole. How about that? That's something you don't see every day. Cover your holes even if you're in a swamp, if you want to keep your permissions. Man, y'all are going to think I'm kidding you, but there are still bullets. There's one right there. There are still bullet signals all over this swamp. I'm ignoring most of them because they're so deep and it's so rooty down here. I've ignored about 4 bullets since I dug that last one. It's just an unbelievable battlefield. There's a bullet right there. Bullet right there. Oh, what was that? Holy moly. Big bad root. Is that him? Yep. There's another 3-ringer right there. I told you they're in here everywhere. You know, I dig these bullets and I just think about what these woods must have looked like and sounded like and smelled like in 1864. Oh my gosh. Oh man. It ain't nothing but roots. Oh wow. Yeah, there it is. That eat up lead from this swamp. Yeah, that's another Civil War bullet, probably a 3-ringer. It's just too many roots. There's a bullet right there. I've passed by 7 or 8 bullets. Look at the water filling that hole up. There's a bullet in that hole. Okay, I can hear it. All right, we got that one. That's a small caliber round ball. But that's probably an old Confederate boy shooting his sporting rifle. I've got a signal up under this root that I think is a bullet. I might feel it right now. Yep, got it. Another bullet. I'm telling you, these bullets are everywhere in here. It's a 3-ringer. It must have been such a killing zone. I don't see how anybody survived the attack on that Confederate trench. And not many did. And as if to prove the point, there's the root I just dug the bullet out under. And there's another signal right there. After 50 years of relic hunting, you've got to hunt this kind of stuff to find relics. Oh, I think I got her. Yep, now this one stayed dry for a while because it's got a white patina on it. If you're willing to do some crazy digging, you can dig all the Civil War bullets you want in the swamp. I bet I'm going to be eat up with chiggers and ticks tonight. I'm hearing one. Right down in the bottom. That is a small caliber round ball. Maybe a 32 caliber round ball. That could be out of a pistol. Alright, getting closer. Alright, that's a Confederate infield right there. I'm gonna quit pretty soon. This is what it looks like to be me today. See those 2 cross sticks? That's where the target is, and I figured if X marks the spot, I better dig it. Alright. Oh, yeah. Boy, that dude folded up on itself. I think this is a good one to quit on. I've had enough. Look how that one folded up on itself. Wow. Thanks for joining me on today's relic hunt. Since I've had a chance to get home and clean up a little bit, I feel a little bit better about that hunt today. We took home a handful of bullets with some variety, a couple of Gardners, several infields, and some 3-ringers, about a dozen bullets and a percussion cap, but boy, we worked hard for it. You know, swamp relic hunting is different. I mean, those roots are in there all tangled up like this. It's like trying to dig your way through a wooden deck sometimes. And I know I've said it enough times, but the carnage in this particular spot is just unbelievable. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you there have been thousands and thousands of bullets found on that hillside and in that swamp. I can't imagine the death that happened there. When you're relic hunting in a swamp, you may find bullets that are lacking any white patina, it's oxidation. Well, that's because they've been underwater and oxygen hadn't had a chance to get to them. And so they may come out looking very silvery gray, almost like they're new. And some people think, oh, I found a reenactor's bullet. But a bullet found underwater will very often not have any white patina to it at all. The condition of the relics that you'll find in a swamp are kind of unpredictable. Sometimes swamp water is really good on brass and lead. It's almost never good on iron. The water leaches something out of the iron, but I know they can become very fragile. Brass may be okay, maybe not. I don't know why that is, but I want to tell you about one find many years ago, came out of a black swamp, exactly like the one I was hunting today. Fella got a good reading, dug down about a foot and a half, and found a U.S. buckle. But when he went to pull it out, the leather on the belt was still intact enough where it wouldn't pull easily away. And so he dug around thinking that the belt may be intact, and on his way around, he found 2 bayonet scabbards, no bayonets in the scabbard, and I don't think they rotted away, although they may have. Found an intact leather cartridge box with the U.S. plate on the cartridge box cover. Found the eagle breastplate on the sling where it was supposed to be. And he said, oh my gosh, I must have a guy who fell in this swamp and sunk, and they never found his body. But he found absolutely no human remains. There was nothing. No human remains. He dug around and it looked like somebody laid a suit of clothes out in that swamp. He had the eagle buttons off of his uniform, his kippy cap, dug down, and even found the leather brogan shoes. Whatever lives in that swamp had completely consumed those human remains. The buttons were intact. Cartridge box plate, buckle, breastplate, bayonet scabbards, his shoes, his cap, no rifle, knife, pistol, sword, nothing like that was found. And this has been decades ago. Hey, if you love metal detecting, or you love Civil War history, particularly finding Civil War relics, and you have not subscribed to the Battlefield Walker channel, what are you waiting for? Jump on board with us. Hey, those of you who have subscribed, appreciate you. Hope those who haven't will consider it. Cooler weather's coming. So let's get together again. Cold Harbor, Gaines Mill, Petersburg. I'd love for you to come along with me. Hey, I'm the Battlefield Walker. Be good. Say your prayers.